Hey everybody, me again. So, as I mentioned yesterday, I just finished watching The Power of the Doctor, and that was a brilliant send-off. Like, I don't even know where to begin with it. Number one, I absolutely adored the fact that not only they brought back Ace, Tegan, but at the end there was a surprise. There was a surprise bring back of Bonnie Langford, as Mel. Even though there is a bit of a hint that we may or may not be seeing her in the 60th anniversary, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. However, we could probably inkling. There's probably an inkling that that's gonna happen. Same thing for probably same thing for Liz Shaw. Well, not Liz Shaw. Jo Grant. And I'm going to assume Steven is the old guy at the end there. Because it was kind of like a Doctor Companion like meetup type of thing, where that also included Kate Stewart. But that's just like the end of the bit of the episode. The rest had the Doctor not only facing off with the Cybermen, the Daleks, and the Master again, and Shasha Dewan, like, he always did an amazing job as the Master, and he cemented his run in this episode. And Jodie, I believe, like, this episode was probably her best performance of the entire run. Like, from the beginning of her tenure all the way to that. And, well, okay, I can admit, alright, so all of the people that said Tennant would be the 14th Doctor, you're wrong. Because he quite clearly says he remembers these teeth, which means it's a degeneration, not the 14th Doctor. So 10 is back thoroughly, and judging by the 2023 trailer, I'm imagining it has something to do with not only the Master's forced regeneration, which, by the way, I kind of actually glad that they touched on forced regeneration, because I've done Doctor Who fan series that I've never fully developed that included full forced regenerations, and if I'm not mistaken, this was the first time that they actually touched upon that, like, to my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if Big Finish or anything like that has touched upon it, but not only that, but the surprise return of Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, David Bradley, and Paul McGann, who haven't been the Doctor in decades, and it's absolutely bonkers that they brought them back. And okay, first I want to say that the writing out of Dan, like, that early on, like, it hurt. Like, the fact that Dan was like, both Dan and Yaz left on their own accord, but you can tell Yaz didn't want to go. Like, mainly because, like, she knew what was going to happen and it wouldn't be her Doctor. So that's why she had to do it. And Yaz now holds the record for the longest serving companion for that one Doctor, because she was the companion at the beginning of Jodie's era, and she has now seen her all the way through to the conclusion. Didn't see the regeneration scene. Well, I say only companion. I do know that in the modern series, 9 only traveled with Rose. But that's a different case. So Rose and Yaz are the two that actually, now that I'm thinking about it, they have very similar stories, like, in that regard. They both loved the Doctor, and they both ran with 9 and 13 respectively through the entire tenure of said Doctor. And I am looking very much forward to what the Centenary Special has to offer, because you, like, the fourth generation clearly has something to do with why Tennant came back and what all is going on with that aspect. Yeah, and let me just bring up, I'll go ahead and preface again. Tennant is not playing 14. He is playing the 10th Doctor, quite clearly. Because the callback he gets when Jodie, Doctor, whoever you are, tag, you're it. And then degenerates into Tennant, when she goes, I know these teeth. What? The callback to Tennant as the 10th Doctor, which proves Tennant is playing the 10th Doctor. Not that he's playing the 14th Doctor. So to all those people saying Tennant was the 14th Doctor, you're wrong. And I can't wait to see how Neil Patrick Harris, as whoever he ends up playing, and what happens in the Centenary Special ties into this. Because quite clearly, they're setting something up with how the episode ends. And, it's so baffling that... It's kind of funny that I'm talking about the 60th anniversary when you can't hear it because they don't want to get copyrighted. They're actually playing the Day of the Doctor. And the first time that it came back, which is kind of symbolic now with the anniversary special. But even though the previous Doctors still came back in this episode, and the callbacks to the classics era, like we get closure with Peter Davison and Tegan. We get closure with Ace and Seven. I was kind of hoping, that they, would bring back, Nicola Bryan or Nicola Bryant as Perry for Six to interact with, or, maybe even a mention of Pertwee and Troughton in some regard, like having someone who looks like both of them and do a spot-on impression of them like they did with David Bradley. So they have all of the classic era Doctors instead of just David Bradley and the other classic era. But that's just my nitpick. And okay, I think this is the first time we've seen a Doctor regenerate and change their costume. Like, as they're regenerating. And I liked that. Especially since I know that the Master forcing the Doctor to regenerate caused that in some way. So I'm very, very much looking forward to... I keep saying how the 60th anniversary is going to do that, because not only does it promise to... They set it up at the end of the episode. It promises to bring back Mel and Liz and... No, I keep saying Liz. Jo Grant. And the classic companions they show at the end of the episode. And got to be at least have semi-been confirmed that, at least by the leaks, that Mel's at least part of the 60th, because there's a leaked footage of Tennant and Tate on set saying, "What about Mel? What about Mel? Yeah, no, brilliant, isn't she?" So, I want to say, Tennant is not playing 14. He's clearly back as 10. She degenerated into David Tennant, because, again, what he says when Tennant comes on screen. I know these teeth. Anyways, it also brings speculation as to. I'll talk in another video about what the 60th anniversary, like what I now speculate for it, because I did also see the trailer, and it showed, I didn't watch the full thing, but it did show David Tennant, going, I don't know who I am anymore. Like, something clearly gone wrong with the regeneration. And clearly the 3-part 60th special is going to be sorting that out. And I'm imagining Donna will be the return companion for that, because she's clearly playing Donna. Like, we've seen clips of her doing that. And also, I'm hoping maybe there's room for, like, other classic Doctors, like the classic Doctors coming back again. But I wouldn't hold my breath, considering they did come back for the Centenary Special. So, and it also makes me wonder how it gets corrected so that Tennant actually regenerates into who he should be, i.e. the Doctor becoming Ncuti, becoming 14. And it actually leaves a lot of possibilities open. And it's just boggling my mind to know what all they've set up. So, Chibnall, your tenure may have been a rocky start, but you ended on a massive high note. So, Davies, welcome back as the showrunner. I look forward to seeing what your new tenure has to offer. Well, that's... Okay, I'm going to talk about the sheer joy I experienced seeing McGann, McCoy, Colin Baker, which I kind of wish now, looking back, they actually could bring back Tom, because, well, they brought back all of the living Doctors to be in this. Even though I say living, Paul McGann's not that old, in retrospect, compared to the other Doctors of the classic era that are still kicking, other than David Bradley, but that's, that's another story entirely. But, like, this legit pulled a Spider-Man Homecoming. Like, I didn't think that they actually would, and they did. So, I already said that this was quite the final adventure, and as much as I feel sorry for Yaz, and, like, I probably left on the note that it probably should have ended on, but the regeneration, I can see why Jodie couldn't do another take of her regeneration, because that was beautiful. The first time seeing it, which I'll admit, I did see the regeneration early when the official Doctor Who YouTube channel released it after the episode aired in the UK, like 4 hours ago in the US. But, like, and I did the same thing when waiting for Twice Upon a Time to see Peter Capaldi regenerating into Jodie, and I feel like that's how I should watch the regeneration stories now, because, well, yes, I will admit some people can say that that'd be a spoiler for the story, but it gives you something more to look forward to, and it certainly did. Like, the story, like, worked so well. Like, It gave closure to two companions who needed TV closure. It brought back the Eighth Doctor and gave him more screen time. Because before this, the only screen time in TV series he had was the movie and the short. So it added to that lore as well. And I can't imagine how joyful Colin Baker, Peter Davison, and Sylvester McCoy were to get to do the part again. And you can tell that they loved doing the role. And David Bradley, he never disappoints as the first Doctor. He was awesome in Twice Upon a Time, and he was spectacular here. Okay, that's enough rambling. That's enough rambling. The regeneration scene itself, it definitely ranks as quite the powerful regeneration scene, and now I can watch them in order. And now it makes sense why David Tennant came back. Because, again, something clearly went wrong in the regeneration, and, it had to do with the forced regeneration. How wonky the effect was. And I can't wait to see not only what happens in series 14 and 15, as well as what happens in the 60th anniversary. So, Russell T Davies, what you got? Bring it on. Bring on 2023. I cannot wait. So, what did you guys think? Do you think I was dead wrong about my opinion on it? Comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me what you guys' opinions are. Because at the end of the day, fam, I have no idea how to finish this video. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, and let's get this discussion going. So until then, I will see you when I now rank the regeneration stories, because or at the very least, I will see you the next time I do a Doctor Who review, which I don't know when the Centenary special will be, when the 60th anniversary special will come out, because the Power of the Doctor just aired, and yeah. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys when I see you. Bye.